So, you've returned. Back for more of the Spectre's creepy tale. Are you a glutton for fear? Well, don't worry, friend. I'll continue the story. We have plenty of time to die. Yes, friend, but first I must tell you of another adventure that awaits you. For the Time to Die Radio Network has many such tales. It's the story of a police detective and a priest who head out into the Wild West. There, they meet with an orcish guide who takes them to a small town where evil is lurking. Best saddle up, partner, 'cause you're in for gunfights, possessions, and my personal favorite, decapitations. The story is called Fillmore's Crossing, and it's waiting for you to give it a listen, if you dare. And now on to our main event. When we last convened, we heard of the charming Four Seasons Resort in Pembine, Wisconsin, in the dead of winter. The scene was set by Tim DeMuse, the Game Master.
We can go ahead and open up with the Palm Lounge, which is a very nice bar with a bunch of tables sort of gathered. So that
we met Elliot Holloway, played by Chris O'Reilly. Due to heavy snowfall, Elliot was dropped off at the Four Seasons on his way to the town of Marinette. He was familiar with the Four Seasons, however, and particularly familiar with a woman who worked there.
Is Nora working tonight?
she's the head housekeeper. So maybe. I'm not sure.
It's fine. Don't bother her if you don't know. I'm sure I'll see her around. Well, thank you anyway. Oh, I need the key.
We also met Ronnie Pinkerton, played by Brian Bridges. Ronnie was bartending at the Palm Lounge inside the Four Seasons. He was quite the chatterbox and quick at making friends.
A little trade secret, Vandermeek. You see a couple wise guys like that, you want to get in good quick. That's why I gave him the bottle. I don't think he's going to pay for it.
Also at the Palm Lounge was Dart Vandermeek, played by Eric Pat. Dart was the accordion player and leader of the jazz band, the Danish Dart.
Is your full name D'Artagnan?
Oh yeah, but no one really calls me that. Doesn't roll off the tongue too well. Plus there's a couple people, over the seas where I was going, they kind of struggled with it, called it D'Artagnan, and so I, didn't want to throw them off.
While they were enjoying an evening of luxury and spirits, we also whisked over to Marinette, Wisconsin, where we met Dr. Dorothy Greenbank, played by Aubrey Gray. Dr. Greenbank had been investigating a possible local cryptid, only to realize it was a rambunctious boy in a costume.
I'm sorry, are you this boy's mother?
Oh yeah, what was Edgar doing?
I feel like you should know that Edgar is interfering with the research of an academic.
Oh no.
Finally, as the music died down and the night was coming to a close, we received a shocking surprise.
The patio doors burst open from the wind, and this incredibly cold draft starts blowing through the room, along with a bunch of snowflakes, and it's incredibly cold, and it's just a rush.
Which shortly thereafter became downright terrifying.
And you see these small handprints, no bigger than the size of a toddler's, maybe an infant, like it's very small. But there's a few of them that are just appearing in the frost, sort of melting it and creating these handprints. But there's nothing on the other side of the glass. When they get up to the top, you see the doors rattle a little bit, and then they rattle harder, and then the glass just bursts forward, and it showers all over Dart and Elliot, and it's this loud sort of howling scream that echoes throughout this room, and then it gets eerily quiet, and the wind dies down, and the snow stops, and you hear the footsteps again, but they sound like they're getting further away, crunching through the snow.
Let's return now and see what each of our characters are doing the following morning as we continue our tale of the Devil's Antlers.
I think that we will open up the next morning with you, Dr. Greenbank. I would imagine that you probably wake up relatively early. Do you wake up at dawn, before dawn? Like, how early of a riser is Dr. Greenbank?
Dr. Greenbank probably isn't too early of a riser. She's probably used to having morning classes, so probably around 6 or 7. So not like stupid early, but early. She gets up, she feeds the cat, and then she's gonna make 2 phone calls. One to the university to say that she's going to be out of town for a few days, so she won't be in her office. And 2 to her daughter to be like, hey, can you take care of my cat for a couple days? For a while I'm out of town. I'm going up north on some business.
Okay, cool. The sun is shining today. It's a much better day, a good day for travel. It's not snowing or anything like that, so you would assume that since it looks like the snow stopped, late or early in the morning, however you want to look at it, last night, it should be clear. At least you hope that the plows have gone through in the majority of the roads that you would need to take, and so, if you would like to be on your way, you can absolutely do that.
Yep. She's loading up her car with all of her stuff.
We will flash over to Elliot. When you wake up, your head is probably pounding pretty good from all of the liquor that you were drinking last night. Really quickly after you wake up, there's a knock at your hotel room door.
All right. I'm going to get up. I still slept in my clothes too, so all I have to do is kind of straighten my tie and sort of try to smooth out the wrinkles and everything. And I'm going to open up the door. Can I help you?
There's a short woman on the other side of the door. She has shoulder-length black hair. She's maybe 25 or so, like that, and she's dressed in like this maroon sort of uniform, and she just says, yeah, they told me to come and tell you that the sheriff's here, and he wanted to talk to anybody who saw what happened with the window last night. So if, you could come down to the lounge and talk to him, that would be, would you be willing to do that? Would that be okay?
Yes, I'll be right down. I contemplate turning around and grabbing my suitcase and getting ready to leave, but then I decide to just leave it there and head on down.
Okay. Dart, do you stay at the Four Seasons when you're in residency, or do you stay somewhere else further away?
He'd be staying at the Four Seasons.
Okay. I think that you would probably also get the same knock on your door, definitely before you wanted to wake up, but the sun is up and there's a young lady on the other side if you choose to answer.
Yeah, Dart answers the door with sunglasses on and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. What's going on, Moosh?
Good morning. Hi. The sheriff is here, and we were hoping that you would, go and talk to him about what happened with the window last night. If you're willing, of course.
Oh, yeah. It's not a problem. I just need to get some coffee in me.
She'll nod and kind of run off. Dart and Elliot, you would probably be arriving to the lounge around the same time. You would see that somebody has already taken the time to put up pieces of plywood over these holes that were there from where the glass shattered all over both of you as you were standing near it. And you also see that near the plywood, just kind of wandering around with he's got this sort of like old-fashioned ear flap hat that seems to be kind of made out of, you'd assume maybe beaver or something like that, if you'd be the type of person that would know what fur it would be made out of, but otherwise it just looks like an animal skin hat that has just kind of a rough sort of stitching to it. But he also has on a jacket with the badge and shield of the Marinette County Police Department, and he'll walk over and he'll nod at you and he'll say, well, good morning there, fellas. Orson Palmer, sheriff around these parts. Nice to meet yous.
Sheriff Palmer, good to meet you. I'm Dart Vandermeek.
Nice to meet ya.
And I'm Elliot Halloway, and I extend my hand to shake his.
He'll give you a firm, sturdy grip. He's got a big walrus mustache, but probably a few more days of growth over the rest of his face as well. It's cold this time of year. Most people don't shave super often. And he'll say, so, heard there was a bit of excitement around here last night, so could you tell me about what happened?
Well, from what I remember, we were drinking at the bar. It was me and Elliot and Edgar, the bartender, and the doors blew open a couple of times. That was weird. I play here. I work here. Doors have never blown open before, and we got them closed, and then they blew open a second time, and Elliot and I went over and went to close them, and we saw what looked like I saw handprints on the glass, and then when we got them closed, it looked like the glass just shattered just out of nowhere. It was the weirdest thing.
So you mean to say that there's some sort of... that they messed with the lock or something? You saw a handprint, you said?
Oh yeah, it looked like Elliot, you saw it too?
We saw handprints, but we didn't see anything make them. I also inspected the door after it flew open the first time. It was very odd. I went over to take a look at it, and the latch seemed to work just fine, yet moments later it blew open again. That's when we saw these handprints. It was as if, you walked up to a cold window and placed your own hand on it and took your hand away. It would leave the imprint there. And it's very odd.
See, here's what I'm thinking, because, well, there's plenty of footprints out there. Not too many near the patio doors there, but, you know, we got plenty of foot traffic. Plenty of people come in and out of this bar here. You had a band playing last night, and I wouldn't go too far as to figure that somebody's probably just playing a prank or two, if I were to guess.
It would have to be one hell of a prank. I was at the bar here last night, but I didn't have a whole lot of money, so let's just say I still had my faculties about me.
Here's the thing. I don't got too much to go off of here. I just figured I'd come and ask you some questions, and if we figured, you know, there were some hooligans or something, we could try and canvass and see if any parents knew that their kids were out and mucking about, but
You know, now that you say that, the handprints did look, you know, pretty small. Like, it might have been a kid. You know, maybe he had, like, some snowshoes and they didn't leave tracks or something. I don't know.
Well, it did snow a good bit. I got my deputy going and kind of patrolling the grounds a little bit here, too, so I'll check in with Gary and see if he notices anything, because, you know, it's worth looking into, but I'll be completely honest with you, this might be a hard one to solve.
Well, it's like you said, it's probably just someone playing a prank, you know. I'm guessing they didn't even mean to break the glass. I don't know, maybe there was some sort of built-up, what do they call it, barometric pressure or something? I don't know. You know, maybe that broke the glass.
My friend here brings up an interesting point. What sort of instrumentation do you have at the ready? Because perhaps using some methods that are not quite the most usual would be the case here. I happen to come from a research background, and I would say there's plenty of instruments I'd like to see used in this situation.
You think it was something to do with the music? Because I played a lot of places and none of the glass broke like that.
We don't got, you know, too much of nothing. We got some radios and some snowshoes and some road flares and some guns. That's about it here.
No magnetometers, no Geiger counters, nothing.
I don't even know what in God's name that is.
Right. Thank you, Sheriff. I hope we were of help.
Like I said, I think it was some kids, so I'm not too worked up about it. Like I said, I'll check in with Gary and we're gonna, you know, try our best here. But anyway, Mr. You said it was Holloway, right?
Correct.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Holloway, and
Likewise.
Mr. Sorry, sir, I don't remember your name. And he'll look over at you, Dart.
I'm the Dart, you know, we play here. I'm a pretty big name. You probably heard of me, you just forgot, it's fine.
Oh, all right, yeah, of course. So anywho, I'm gonna go and see what Gary turned up out there. You guys have a good rest of your day. Maybe I'll stop by the bartender's house and see if he saw nothing. And he'll walk out the hallway and disappear from your sight.
Well, I don't think that's going to be very helpful, do you?
I think they're gonna do their damnedest, but I don't know. You know, we did have a couple drinks. Maybe something that, you know, we didn't see happened, you know? Maybe we saw some things that weren't there, you know?
Well, I guess that's the only thing we can think about it at this point. It's no use in troubling ourselves. The one thing's for sure, waking up and being here in this moment, something definitely happened last night.
Well, I mean, the glass for sure broke, but I don't know. I think maybe we, you know, might have been jumping to conclusions, you know. It's dark out there, there's been those, you know, those accidents and whatnot, and, you know, just kind of got our hackles up, I guess, you know.
Yeah, So, you're going to be playing tonight again?
Yep, this is our last show of the week, and then we got 2 more next week.
Yeah, well, good luck to you. I probably am going to try to get back to my original place of lodging that I had set up. But yeah, it was nice seeing you. Nice hearing you play last night.
Thanks. It was interesting meeting you too, and feel free to stop by again. I'll spot you a drink again. You make an interesting conversation at the least.
I'll definitely consider it, D'Artagnan. And I reach out my hand to shake his.
Yep. Love to see you again, Elliot. And I'll shake his hand.
Yeah, and as I'm about to walk away, I'll look around for a clock on the wall.
Let's say it's 9:15 a.m.
All right, and then I'll look at my wristwatch and see if it matches.
It's slow by 5 minutes.
All right, I'm going to adjust it and then wind it up and then, lift it up to my ear to make sure it's ticking properly.
Yeah, it sounds fine to you.
All right, and then I will go back to my room and start gathering my things and start getting ready to check out.
We're going to cut over to Ronnie. Are you awake at 9 in the morning? Maybe it's probably 9:30 at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll hear a knock at the door.
Ronnie will answer, and when he opens the door, he's just wearing his belted slacks and a tank top undershirt. And he's right in the middle of running a comb through his pomade, and he's got a Lucky's bouncing up and down in his lips as he talks, and he says,
Oh, hiya, copper. How's the beat?
Oh, just checking into some things that happened down there at the Four Seasons.
Oh, listen, I didn't have anything to do with that fight.
No, we're here about windows. The glass exploding, Blake breaking, whatever happened there.
Oh, sure.
So, your friends say they saw handprints or something like that. Do you remember seeing something to that effect?
Oh, sure. You want my full account? You got a Bible to swear on?
No, this isn't really a you're in trouble sort of thing. This is just we're trying to figure out what happened and if there's any, lookings into it that me and Deputy Gary got to do.
Well, I got a pocket dictionary here. I, Ronnie Pinkerton, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Cross my heart and hope not to get 10 years in the pen.
He'll kind of wide-eyed look at you okay.
Alright, here's the thing. After Vandermeek got done squeezing his organ, I started hollering last call. But not before the 3 of us, that's Vandermeek, Frosty, and myself, had a bit of a something-something. Before you know it, there was just the 3 of us gabbing at the bar when the door blew open. We told it to button its lip, but then it did it again, and the glass broke. Frosty thought it was a spook. I think it was a something. Yeah, I never knew a little broken glass was worth calling a badge over, but hey, if you're looking for people to throw in the paddy wagon, I could make a few suggestions.
No, that's not what we're doing here. We just got a call from the owner asking if we'd come and make sure that there wasn't nothing nefarious going on. He seemed a bit concerned, so we came and made the drive.
What'd you say about handprints?
Your friends said they saw some handprints, some kids or something.
Well, I can't say nothing about that.
Funny thing is, though, we didn't see any tracks or nothing around the patio doors, so handprints would be pretty weird.
Hey, can't you do that thing that they do where they, when you breathe on the and then everything kind of reveals itself? Don't ask me how I know about that.
You do remember that all the glass got broken last night, right?
Oh, that's right.
You were kind of there. But I guess, it's my job as a police officer to, notice those sort of things.
Listen, I gotta go to work, so if there's nothing else you need from me.
No, by all means, if you gotta get going. Don't let me hold you up, pal. And he and Deputy Gary will both nod at you and then make their way towards their car and drive off.
I would be just hopping in my 2-door coupe after I put a shirt on. I'm just going to go down to the Four Seasons.
Okay. Elliot, what are you doing to try and secure a ride? Like, are you out front? Like, where are you right now?
I would be, like, after I get my suitcase together, I'm going to wheel my bike down the hallway towards the checkout desk. And once I get there, I'm going to start the sort of checkout process and ask about the weather.
Oh, yeah, it looks real nice today. I don't see any reason that you couldn't make it all the way there if you're trying to.
Yeah, that I was hoping that would be the case. The place I'm staying, it's just right off of the main highway, kind of right near the general store. I'm guessing 7-8 miles.
Oh, I know all about that. That's the Beaver Trading Post. I know all about there. Well, you're probably staying at their boarding house right next to it, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the place. Thank you. And so, that's good to hear that the roads are good this morning. That'll work out fine. After the stay last night, I think I will be departing this morning, though.
All right, well, sorry to see it go, but, maybe if you're lucky, you'll be able to catch somebody trying to, that'll give you a ride into town. I don't know. But good luck to you, sir.
And to you. Also, you said you're familiar with the boarding house, correct?
Oh, yeah.
If it wouldn't be too much trouble, maybe after Nora comes in, could you have her call down there and ask for Elliot?
Oh, yeah. No problem there.
Thank you.
And you actually see her. She scribbles something down on a piece of paper that's next to her.
Okay. Can I see exactly what it says?
Yeah, it just says, have Nora call Ghost Guy at the boarding house.
I just, I try to make no reaction to that, but, I get kind of a scowl to my face and try my best to hide it.
I think that, Ronnie, you are making your way through the lobby as Elliot is making his way out the building.
Oh, hiya, Frosty. You looking the same as ever.
If it isn't Ronnie Edgar Ronnie. You weren't very clear which one you preferred last night, so I figured I'd cover all the bases.
We decided last night we were going to be friends. Better call me Edgar.
All right, Edgar. And I kind of pat him on the shoulder. I'm just heading into town after last night. I'd much rather stay at a different place, if you don't mind.
Hey, maybe I'll go with you.
Sure. I mean, I have my bike right here.
Bike?
Yeah, I mean, it's this thing in my hands right now. It's got handlebars and 2 wheels.
You gotta be pulling my leg. You can't bike out there. There's like 3 feet of snow.
Well, not on the roads, and, I've got my parka.
Hey, why don't you just leave it here? They'll take good care of it. We got a coat check and a bike check. I'll take you in my coupe.
It is still pretty cold in the morning. Maybe I'll take you up on it. And, I'm gonna go stash my bike and...
Hey, let me go pull it around.
All right.
We will cut over to Dr. Greenbank then. Do you have a specific destination that you are going? I know that you said that you were driving north, but did any of your research give you a specific spot that you would like to start heading towards?
She's probably going to head straight towards Pembine.
So you know that there are a couple of places that people kind of regularly hang out. There is the bar restaurant, the Beaver Trading Post. You also could make your way to the Four Seasons. Obviously, people do spend quite a bit of time there. I think that you would probably be maybe familiar with Father Jagelski, who is the Catholic priest of the church in Pembine.
Since she knows the priest, she's probably going to go talk to him first just to get his read on the situation, and then go to the trading post to hear from some locals.
It doesn't take you that long. It takes you maybe an hour and a half to make your way to Pembine. And as you're heading down the the main highway. It eventually turns into Main Street, which, runs you past the beaver trading post. It runs you past the little clinic that maybe you've been to, before, maybe you haven't, but you know that there is a full-fledged operational doctor out here that does some pretty darn good work. And when you get to the center of town, there is a large cemetery, and then right next to this cemetery plot is a farmhouse, and then a large steepled church as well. And you would see that there's a man out on the church steps, and he's got a steel shovel in his hands, and he has on a very thick wool hat and a large pea coat and mittens, like woolen mittens on, and these huge galoshes, and he's shoveling off the front of the church.
Okay. She'll, park and get out and walk up and be like, "Hey there, do you know if Father Jagelski is in?"
He'll look up, and you'll see that it is Father Jagelski when you get close enough to him, and he'll say, "Oh, hey! Good morning.
Hi!
Are you cold? Do you want to come inside and, get a coffee?"
I just wanted to ask you a couple questions.
No problem. Just trying to get the sidewalk and step clean, but I also could use a break, so let's head on in and get some coffee. And you head inside, and the house is connected to the church, and so you make your way through the back, and you go off to the right through a couple of doors and down some steps, and then you find yourself in this 2-story farmhouse, and you're in the kitchen actually, and you smell the very strong scent of coffee in the air, and priest beckons for you to sit down at the table, and it's simple, but he sets a cup in front of you and a cup down for himself, and he pours a little bit of coffee in either of the mug, and then goes and puts the percolator back on the stove and turns the burner off. And he'll say, "So, what you have in mind?"
So, I was wondering, those poor girls that disappeared up here?
Yeah, I know Kathy and Beth pretty well.
I know that the police have deemed it to not almost foul play, I could say, but it really ties in to some of the cases I've been researching, and I was wondering what your take on it was. You were the first person I came to.
I mean, I basically, from what I heard, Beth was involved in a relationship with a kid named Sam. He was a student near Marinette, and I think they met last summer, abouts, maybe. And the way Sam tells it, they're madly in love, and they were gonna run away together or something, but it doesn't much explain why Kathy was there,
Because I've met Sam, or at least I know of him. He seems like a pretty decent kid.
Well, we all seem like good people till we get a bit of the devil in us. So
That's very true.
This town has it's got a sad history, There's proud people who want to spend a lot of their time outdoors, and when you challenge God like that, sometimes God calls your number,
Yeah. Sure.
And I'm not saying Sam had, nothing to do with it, but I mean, you go across those lakes, you step on a spot that's thin. He'll take a sip of his coffee.
It is, we do pretty much live in the tundra this time of year, so
My brother, Peter, he passed that way. Back in 42.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He, was, walking across the lake, looking for a spot to cut a hold of fish, and...
My goodness, I'm so sorry.
I'm just meaning to tell you that, sometimes these things might seem like, they're connected, but maybe they're not. Or maybe they are. I don't know. I just try to keep faith in God.
Who's to say how why things happen,
So true. He'll take another swig of his coffee.
This entire time, he's like, as soon as he started talking about challenging God, Dorothy, who spends most of her time challenging God, is just like,
Awesome. I am going to cut over to the car with Elliot and Ronnie in it.
So, did you get to meet the pair of legs he was looking for?
No, I just left my contact information for her to reach out to me when she's ready.
Oh, that's funny. I thought you might have bumped into her this morning.
I didn't see her. There was one of the hotel staff that got me from my room to talk to the sheriff, but and then I saw one at the desk, but I didn't see her around. Given how we left things off, I didn't want to ambush her.
Left off? How?
Yeah, I guess we never got all the way into the story last night. She's my wife. I just haven't seen her in several years.
No fooling. Your wife. How about that? Boy, you letting a pair of legs like that walk around without you in front of all those men? You're living on the edge. You've been across the pond and you weren't even drafted. You went voluntarily. I tell you what, you're something else.
I asked her to come with me, and she didn't want to go.
That's a tough break, kid. So you like fishing?
Can't say I've ever been.
Lots of pretty lakes out here. This used to be a logging community.
Yeah, I imagined a lot of the places up here are beautiful forests.
Yeah, until they lost the railroad. I went to the museum, read all about it. Wasn't that interesting.
Lost the railroad?
Well, I don't know. Something about the trade in this area that went down, but here we are. We got the Four Seasons Inn.
Oh, so just economically, I was just sort of curious. You don't just lose a railroad, so...
Oh, you thought it was maybe another one of those
thing?
Kwanzaa things.
Quantum, yes.
I don't know nothing about that. You don't like burgers, do you?
Who doesn't?
They got a nice joint up here that makes the best burgers around. What do you say?
I'm sure they'll be fantastic compared to the burgers that they had where I just came from.
Hey, it's on me today.
Yeah, so, did you really not see what happened last night?
Oh, you talked about the glass breaking? Sure, I saw that.
How about the other thing, with the hands, did you hear the footprints coming up?
The what?
When we were up at the door, I and Dart, we could hear footprints, like, mushing through the snow. You could hear the way that the snow would compact under the feet. And then, we saw these hands as if, like, this something was climbing up the wall right in front of us, right up the door.
Huh. If I'd known she was a featherweight, I would have cut you off a lot sooner.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not a featherweight, and I didn't drink very much. I get that you were a few feet further back than Dart or I, but I can't believe you couldn't see it.
Listen, Frosty, did you have any crackers last night?
I had some of the nuts at the bar. I'm telling you, I was not inebriated.
You are nuts, all right. Listen, what we had was perfectly explainable. a little bit too much to drink, the wind blew in, and that's that. Alright? Bound to give a fella some bad dreams.
I was lucky enough not to have any dreams last night.
Alright, so let's consider this. Not till we get some coffee in us, huh? I'm gonna pull into this parking space.
Are you going to the Beaver Trading Post? Because that's where most people would go. Otherwise, there is the Pembine Diner as well.
I like the sound of beaver.
I hate you so much.
I fucking hate you.
Well, do they have burgers there? You said you were taking me to grab a burger.
Yeah, they have burgers there. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
So I lead Elliot in, and we get a table, and I assume we get some coffee, and then I'm gonna say,
Alright, you're a smart guy. So let's think smart. Let's say that you saw the things you saw. Well, what's that about?
I mean, the first thing that one would do is not leap to any conclusions, but to totally disregard the matter altogether is also, to me, out of the question. We need to find evidence, form a hypothesis, maybe figure out some way of testing it.
It's a lot of work for a broken window. What if you just, forgot the whole thing? Sweep it under the rug.
Perhaps it might be the best thing to do.
You don't think it was a spook, do you?
Like I said, I wouldn't leap to any conclusions. I'm just... It's such a peculiar event.
There's a dame in town that talks about spooks a lot.
And who might that be?
Some kind of doctor. At least she calls herself that. I didn't know there could be women doctors, but apparently she studies things like ghosts and goblins? I don't know.
The door literally swings open as you're saying that, Ronnie, and you look over and you see Dr. Greenbank walking into the place.
Speak of the doctor.
Oh, here we have another interesting occurrence. What a coincidence.
Hey, Dorothy.
Oh, hi, Ronnie. How you doing?
Hey, come take a seat. Here, I'll get you a coffee. Hey, waitress. Bring us another coffee for the dame.
Hey, don't snap at her, and don't call me a dame. I'm old enough to be your mother.
We gotta pick your brain about something.
I scooch out of the seat and stand up to greet her.
Listen, you can either call me... Oh, thank you, young man. Hello, it's wonderful to meet you, and she'll shake your hand.
Yeah. Elliot, nice to meet you.
Well, first of all right, don't snap at her. She doesn't make enough money to deal with you. You can ask her nicely to get her attention, and don't call me dame. I'm old enough to be your mother.
Sure thing, doctor.
You can call me Dorothy.
You can call me Edgar.
I had a bad experience with an Edgar. I'm not gonna do that.
At this point, Jen comes over and she puts a coffee in front of you, Dorothy, and she says, So, anybody want anything to eat or no?
Yeah, give us 3 burgers and an egg. And some burnt toast.
All right. And she'll bustle off to the kitchen.
Listen, Dr. Dorothy, where were you last night? Usually come down and listen to the jazz.
I was home. I was up in Marinette.
Hey, you missed a good night. I met my pal here, Frosty. He comes from across the pond. Came here to see his wife.
Ooh, are you from King's College, Oxford, Cambridge?
Cambridge.
Ooh, interesting. I know some professors over there.
Oh, that's quite amazing. Yeah, I'm studying under Dirac.
I've read some of his work. It's very fascinating.
I couldn't believe I was accepted, and I'm actually featured on the latest paper that he's put forward.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful!
All right, you don't need to write a book about it.
I did write a book about it in 39.
Tell her what happened last night. Go on, give her the dirt.
Alright, so you said you needed to pick my brain about something.
Yes, an interesting occurrence happened after the show was over, and it was just after last call. The wind blew open the doors to that area, and so I went over to investigate, because the doors were shut firmly all night, and the wind had been blowing plenty ever since I had arrived. And with this all of a sudden burst open. We go and close them. I inspected the bolts.
Don't sing the lady to sleep. Tell her about the good stuff.
It's important to get the whole story.
All right.
Always look for a practical explanation before anything else.
Exactly.
You two were made for each other.
Well, moments later, after making sure that it was securely shut again, it happened a second time, followed by a very odd occurrence. There were sounds of footsteps coming from the outside, and then there were these handprints that appeared on the glass of the door and worked their way up towards the ceiling. And then all of a sudden the glass burst. I wasn't the only witness to this. There was also the jazz player.
Sure, Vandermeek was there.
Vandermeek, yes. He said he saw it too. The handprints and everything.
It's very, very interesting. She reaches into, like, her little, like, Grace Kelly style handbag and pulls out a stenographer's notepad and a pencil and starts, like, taking notes, and she goes, do you have... the window is obviously not still intact, but there's no, like, shards that have prints or anything on them? Or at least none that you saw.
The police were there in the morning. Obviously, last night I was fairly shaken up by it. I went directly to my room. Thinking upon it now, I should have investigated it further at the time.
Encounters with the paranormal are always frightening. Ooh, this is good stuff.
Now, I know what you may be thinking. And we did have some things to drink. But Frosty here assures me he's a regular Bogart at drinking.
I didn't have that many, to be, clear here, and I started late. Also, I was fine. That isn't the issue.
The overlap between alcoholics and academics is quite large, but usually not definitive. So, we're gonna take your word for it. Chemical influences notwithstanding. And you said this was at the Four Seasons?
Sure, down in the lounge.
Oh, in the Palm Lounge? Those beautiful windows. That's a shame.
Thinking back on it, like the way that the windows burst, it was a uniform explosion. It's not like the glass had like a sort of central point in which the glass broke. It was all even. Like, thinking back on it now, the amount of energy that it would take to go from the solid state that it was in to this bursted form, it's incredible.
Sure is incredible. This is some good stuff. She's still writing down stuff in her book, and she's just like, oh, all my books are in my car. So, you said there was another witness? The musician?
Yeah, he's still there. He's playing tonight again.
Oh, I would love to speak to him after he gets, I'm sure that there's some moonshine or something with his name on it. Just to loosen the lips a little bit.
No, there's no moonshine down in the Palm Lounge. We don't store that sort of stuff. Absolutely not. Nope.
Absolutely not.
Come to think of it, Ronnie, when is garbage pickup?
Tuesday, I believe.
So if that's the case, they probably still have the glass somewhere. Because the police were not bothered at all by taking any evidence, so whatever was there is still there.
Dart, what are you doing right now?
After his companion leaves, he probably goes, checks on the band quick. And then Dart's going to go to the maitre d', would it be? The person kind of running the hotel?
Oh, do you want to talk to the manager?
Yeah.
Solomon Fields. And, so you've spoken with him on a multitude of occasions and things like that, and so you know where his office is, and so when you get to, the more administrative area of the Four Seasons, you go up a stairwell and you knock on the door and, you hear, "Yeah, come in." And when you get inside, it is a very rustic but nice looking office. Everything is with natural wood. There's some bookshelves to either your left or your right, and then this very large oaken desk in the center, and there is a very dapper-looking man in a suit. He's got a pencil-thin mustache, and his hair is greased back, and he says, "Hey, Dodd, how you doing? What can I do for you?"
Oh, hey, Mr. Fields. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit about last night, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, anything for you, baby. Tell old Saul here what you need, and I got yous, okay?
I'll pull out a cigarette and offer another one to him.
Yeah, he'll take it from you, and he'll light it up.
Well, Saul, just wanted to know, I know the show is scheduled for tonight, but with that broken door in the lounge, you think we're going to be able to play?
Oh, there's no question about it. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna knock them dead, baby, I'm telling you. There's no problem there. And he starts, running through long, quick platitudes with you. And this is very normal for your conversations with Solomon Fields. However, the big bay window directly behind his desk, as he's speaking, begins to frost up. And you watch as these small handprints begin to crawl and cover them slowly, and it gets to maybe 3/4 of the way. What would you like to do?
Okay, I'm going to start backing away from the window and point at it and hey, Saul, something's... Are you seeing that too?
Saul turns around, and as soon as he spins, the window looks incredibly normal to you, and you assume to him, because he then turns back around and looks at you like, what's going on here, baby? Are you okay? You had a little bit too much to drink, or maybe you need a drink. I can pour you one right now. What do you need?
No, that's all right. I guess I'm still a little shaken up over last night, and I think I might need to go get a coffee and calm down or something,
Well, you don't gotta worry about a thing here, baby, because we're gonna employ you, we're gonna have people there, it's gonna be great, I'm telling you, okay?
You've always been good to me. I trust you, but, actually, there's one other thing you could do for me.
Anything, baby, what is it?
You think I might be able to meet up with, the head housekeeper? Her name's, starts with an N. Nancy? No. Nora, I think.
Oh, you mean Nora? Yeah, absolutely. I can.
Yeah.
No problem. I'll send her down to knock on your door when she's got a free moment.
Oh, that'd be really wonderful. I appreciate that, sir. I won't take up too much more of your time.
All right, Mr. Vanderbeek, you have a good rest of your day. And you knock 'em dead tonight, all right?
Oh, you know it. I'll hurry out quickly out of his office.
Crazy words, crazy tune, all that you'll ever hear him croon.
The Devil's Antlers is a Time to Die podcast network production. We have many shows available, such as with Fillmore's Crossing, which you heard from
The Spectre
at the intro of this episode. Find all of our shows at timetodierpg.com. If you would like to support us financially, you can pledge any amount of money at patreon.com/timetodierpg or make a one-time donation at ko-fi.com/timetodierpg. We have merchandise at sonerdwear.com/timetodie, and if you use the discount code TIMETODIE at checkout, you'll get 10% off your entire purchase. The ukulele music you're hearing right now is by Charlotte Pelgen. Find her at charlottepelgen.com, or her social media links are available in the description of this episode. She just released a brand new album, and you should definitely check it out if you like early era swing and jazz music. You can find all of our social media accounts, as well as those of our players, in the episode description. Our crew for this show was Tim Demuse, Chris Riley, Aubrey Gray, Eric Patt, and I'm Brian Bridges. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for more of the Devil's Antlers.